He doesn't fear much about what can happen. He doesn't see the negative or the limitations of that idea. He just focuses on the positive thing. So that has allowed him to tackle many projects. He's a visionary.
Mexico is one of the most biologically diverse countries on Earth. Mexico has 12% of all the plants and animals on Earth, and it has only 1% of the land mass. So it's really, really unique in that sense. We also realize how much work we need to do to protect it and save it.
For over 20 years, Dr. Gerardo Ceballos has fought to preserve the vast and diverse ecosystems in Mexico.
Acá está. Ya lo encontramos.
He began his career focusing on mammals. That work led to a discovery that caused him to broaden his conservation plan.
I start to see that what I was learning in one species could be applied to saving landscapes, because in a landscape you save hundreds of thousands of species. I could understand that my work will have more impact if I start to look at the broader picture.
In 1991, Ceballos worked to create the first Endangered Species Act in Mexico, a landmark that protects over 4,000 species. To protect the home of these animals, Ceballos helped to create the National System of Protected Areas.
He has helped to create several reserves or expand other reserves. And that's a work that should last probably 100 years and will benefit thousands of people.
I love to do basic science. I mean, that's the thrill of my life, you know? So what I have been able to do is, based on my research, to identify particular areas in Mexico that are critical to maintain the diversity of this country.
Keystone species are a crucial component to understanding what makes a particular ecosystem tick. In the mid-1990s, Ceballos began to study the jaguar, an elusive cat believed to be plentiful in certain regions of Mexico.
I have the opportunity to set a reserve in southern Mexico. And what we'll do in that, we'll learn that there were many jaguars still in that area. So it occurred to me and my colleagues that we should start the first national census of jaguar.
We know a lot of the biology of the jaguar, the natural history of the jaguar. And now we know how many animals in all the reserves and inside or outside of the reserve.
We have been able to set aside now more than 4 jaguar reserves in Mexico. Very happy to tell you that we think that there are at least 30 to 40,000 jaguars in the Americas. It's still in good shape in many places.
For the last 15 years, Ceballos and his core team of research scientists have been working in the Janos Reserve, a grassland region of northern Mexico. The ecological balance of the reserve is tested by subsistence farmers, cattle ranching, and more recently, industrial farming practices. The challenge for Ceballos is not to stop these practices, but to work to achieve sustainability.
One thing leads to another. You see that they are putting crops in the prairie dog towns. How do you stop that? They are a very powerful group, the farmers.
The bottom line is that we managed to improve their standard of living by doing conservation. Everything will be in good shape. We're working with these rich and poor, pulling them together. So we show them the state of the land, and we also show them what we think is going to happen if nothing changes in the next 20 years.
Rather than confronting the interests, he analyzes what the problem is and how can you involve the people causing the problem into the solution.
By creating this reserve, we are protecting so many plants and so many species who are unique to Mexico and who are so important to protect because it's our heritage. On the other hand, to try to think that my work is helping plants and animals to survive, is helping the local people, and it's also giving a better chance for my children to being able to see this when they grow up.